Arkam Nooramith is an Islamic scholar born in Colombo to a renowned Malay family. He acquired his primary education at Zahira College, Colombo. He completed memorization of the Holy Quran at an early age at Rashad Arabic College, Colombo 14. After completing his secondary education, he journeyed to South Africa and studied under Maulana Qasim Seema at Newcastle. May Allah be pleased with him. He then continued his studies under a renowned Islamic scholar, Sheikh Taha Karan, at Durul Ulum Al Arabiya Al Islamia, Cape Town. While acquiring his masters in the University of Western Cape Town, he was deeply involved in the development of the Muslim community in Makassar, Cape Town, South Africa. Presently, he is actively involved in reconciliation and rehabilitation programs in down south, particularly in Gaul, Matra and Hambantota, and also all over the country. He is an advisor to human rights organizations. He is a director of Nooramith Arabic College, Fort Matra. He was appointed in 2013 as an executive member of All Ceylon Jamiatul Ulma and Secretary of Youth Affairs and Education, the chairman of the Down South Islamic Religious Council. He sits as an executive member of the advisory board in many institutions as well. He delivers lectures in many languages, nationally and internationally. So it's my pleasure and privilege to invite Sheikh Arkam Nooramith. Please welcome.
Honorable members of my Sangha and the clergies, family of Living Dialogue members who are present here, our host and all the members who are present here, may Almighty's peace and blessing be upon all of you who are really seeking the truth and who really want to make a change in the life and live life honestly, dedicated your life to God Almighty. I think my previous speakers made my job very easy. They have very beautifully elaborated what this book all about and what it contains. Taking the time into consideration, when I got a call from a friend of mine, Sheikh, that I happened to meet Mr. Deepal in one of the opening ceremonies. And when I got a call saying that he wants me to do a review or some speech on his launch, then I understood what type of person Deepal has been. It was a very short interaction, but was trying to understand and see how we can interact with different type of people and make them engage. So his vision in life is that keeping all of us engaged to one another. Then the title was said to me, Living Together, and the Islamic perspective I have to speak. He said, oh, living together is not allowed in Islam. So what I'm going to talk about it. It's really put me on spot. But then Mr. Arkam said that, no, it's got to do with some interreligious, Mr. Arkam is here. I didn't, interreligious dialogue and things like that. Then I got the soft copy. It took me actually about 6 to 7 hours, not at one stage, to go through the entire book. Like one of the speakers said, the book is the life story and a journey. It's really interesting if you can connect the dots. And if you can appreciate the diversity, if you can appreciate the way that God have created us to think differently. So it was a movie for me actually. Normally I am unable to watch a movie for 1 hour. I fall asleep and halfway I wake up and ask what happened, and others get disturbed because they say what's wrong. But actually the book gave me, I was keep reading while traveling and right through. I happened to conclude before I came here. So I appreciate many things. And one real important, note that I will say about the book, Deepal has remained very faithful for his religion while he's writing his book. and he's been very fair and very truthful for all other religion and cultures. He has remained a Buddhist, and he has not failed to mention the beauty that he encountered in all other religion. It's very rare to find a writer remaining one believing to be right, believing to be correct, and then still justifying, like our Reverend very beautifully laid down certain things, that this is how God Almighty decided to create this world. We have no other option other than living together. It's not what we want, it is the need and necessity. We have no other option. Not only living together with human beings, there is a saying of Prophet, like, Reverend said that when you become a good Buddhist and good Muslim, when you have others as your neighbors or your companions. I have met some Muslim, students who come to my classes or my teaching lectures. They go to Christian schools or Buddhist schools. Majority of them are Buddhist. But they are really well-disciplined Muslim students. And they practice their religion, they concentrate in their prayer. But likewise, sometimes I go to a majority Muslim school where they don't respect the religion of Islam. Because the diversity gives us, strength, diversity gives us pride in what we follow, the diversity gives us to appreciate the beauty that we have and explore and go beyond our learning and teaching what we have in that. So that very clearly Deepal have, expressed. I am here, I think I'm one of the youngest member here. As a student, I'm sharing. I have learned so many things, being in this company for the last 2-3 hours. I'm very young when it comes to all these giants, front of me. But this is my experience. This is what my reading goes. There's a saying of Prophet say, Al-Khalqu Iyalullah. All creations are the family of God. Prophet Muhammad says that all the creations family of God. So even, the concept of Buddhism, that all being, we have that concept of loving all human beings and living all the beings in this world and in this universe, it comes there. The way we explain, the way we express and the way we act, it's in a different way. And what I believe is that when it comes to our concept of God and rituals, where the religions differs. When it comes to human life, we agree. When it comes to living being, we all agree that we have to, take care of one another, love one another. When it comes to concept of God, all believe in one God in a different way. We describe God in a different way. We are taking a different path in order to understand. So when it comes to human being and all living beings, that Almighty wants us to be. And very beautifully, one of my teachers used to always say, the purpose of life that God has given. What is the purpose of our life? What Deepal is doing today, according to Islam, is that it is a continuous charity. It says, our beloved Prophet said, when a person dies, when he lives, his physical being is dead, all his good deeds have been, come to a stop. Except for 3 things. An honest and a pious, loyal, good progeny, a son or daughter he leaves behind. Continuing with the good deeds, that deeds adds to him. And says, beneficial knowledge. You leave beneficial knowledge, the reward is continuing. And a charity where people continuously benefited. Maybe a donated land for institution or things like that. So, I'm really, jealous in this sense that Deepal is very lucky. He's living so much of book he have written, and then he is giving for the human legacy that people to come behind to beneficial knowledge experience. This is what, when you leave, you don't die, you are living in our presence. All those giants, Prophet Muhammad or Jesus and all those, they are living amongst us within their teaching and memory here. So Deepal is lucky, here, this is the moment, it's not the book launch, we celebrate his effort, like our Reverend said, although one wife is departing, but he has done his job, taking that task forward together. So I would like to conclude here saying that don't believe or don't look at the people who are following the faith and then come to conclusion about the faith or religion. See, media has, and I'm very unfortunate, at this moment, Islam is a religion has been very much misunderstood by the entire world. But it does not teach that. Intolerance is not in Islam. For example, Islam teaches us and preaches us to respect all other religions. You take Indonesia, is a majority Muslim country. But if you go as a tourist to Indonesia, they take you to the Buddhist temples, they take you to the Hindu temples. They have kept all that, preserved those things. So our religion doesn't teach to destroy the legacy where you come from. If so, it would have happened that. And recently I happened to, touch a book in Arabic language. I was so much astonished. In the Arabic language, the book, I actually shared this with Deepal as well. The huge Buddhist, Buddha statue in Bami, in Afghanistan. This book is written 200 years ago in Arabic language. The historical evidence and the legacy of Bamian statues in Arabic. But just 20 years ago, this ideology came and they destroyed. Those who destroyed, they are not following the religion of Islam. If it's so, Islam is living in Afghanistan much far behind. A Muslim scholar, a religious scholar is writing and describing about the Buddha statue which was this was written 200 years ago in Arabic. I requested one of my students to translate that into Sinhalese so that we can, share this idea. So don't just see and listen whatever is going in media and believe here. And these are the works that, we need to take. We need to become a community who reads, reflects, refresh, and then practice. The first verse in the Quran does not say anything, it says read. So the legacy of reading, Deepal is saying that you read the book, refresh yourself, reflect about it, and if you act, try to act. And whatever I say, walk the talk. May Almighty bless all of you and make this event a successful event, and may Almighty bless Deepal and all of you who are here, who's contributing to the development of human being. And only way that we can change this, changing ourselves, not changing the world. If we can change ourselves. I can remember soon as after tsunami only I came from South Africa. Down south, whenever I used to travel, I see a huge billboard saying, Rata hadamu, api hademu. I keep reading, I used to reflect about it. I said it should be other way around. Api hademu, rata hadamu. That is the way, right way. We are always Sri Lankans, we are speaking about, we need to reform the country, make the country know. That's not. First, let us reform ourselves, let us walk the talk, and then the country will be a beautiful place, it's a beautiful island, a paradise to live. May Almighty bless all of you, may Almighty guide all of us. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much for that very powerful speech. I'm sure the audience gave you that response. And may you bless with more of these sharings all over the country.